Well, yes, now ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Hunt YouTube channel. It is rather sunny today, so I can't see the screen, can't see if I'm on the screen, so don't complain if I'm not on the screen. Got it? Thanks. Right, so, let's talk NXT. It's that weekly review time, right? Not a bad show, not the greatest show, I'll be honest. But, I mean, nah, I can't even insult the show. It's just one of those shows where it's like, there's nothing majorly spectacular, just a lot of... No, what am I saying? There was a lot of stand and deliver build up. You know, they haven't built stand and deliver properly. They've mentioned it, but they've not made matches. I feel like a lot of the matches got made and set in stone on this episode of NXT, really. So, let's talk. Obviously, last week, Stephanie McHare relinquished the Women's North American Championship, and I said they didn't want to defend the Women's North American Championship and the NXT Women's Championship at the same time. And then they had two qualifying matches. Kalani Jordan beat Roxanne Perez, and what the fuck moment Zarya beat Lash Legend in a what the fuck moment. And I said last week I want Sol Ruka to be in the match. I want Sol Ruka to win the match. Well, Sol Ruka beat someone. Can't remember who it was. Oh yeah, she beat the girl from Fatal Influence. That wasn't JC Jane. That wasn't. God, I really forget her name a lot of the time. The third wheel in Fatal Influence, essentially. She got beat by... God, I'm bad. She got beat by Sol Ruka, and Sol Ruka's in the match now. And then later on in the night, we had Izzy Dame from the Culling, formerly from the family. She beat another woman. Can't remember which woman it was. Who was it? I couldn't tell you who it was, but she beat someone, and Izzy Dame is now in the match. I'll be honest, she doesn't fit in. When you say like Kalani Jordan, Zarya, Sol Ruka, you think, oh cool, the up and coming good ones. But then, no, I think Izzy Dame sticks out like a sore thumb really, because I don't think she's quite made it yet. She's quite powerful. I mean, then again, I wasn't in the era of NXT when all these people came in and were, you know, were making names and became who they are now. I've kind of joined the party as it kind of became watchable and available to us. So yeah, so far the four we got, I'm still rooting Sol Ruka, but we've got two more qualifying matches next week, just before Stand Deliver happens. Wonder who they'll be. To be honest, all the people who lost to those four people were talking to Ava, saying they want a second chance, and she was saying there'll be no second chances, but she has got an idea for Stand Deliver, but it won't be for the NXT North American Women's Championship. So I wonder who else it could be, because I don't see many other women. I mean, technically Jakara Jackson and the other people in Fatal Influence didn't get a shot yet, so there's always that. And it's no one like Julia or Jada Parker, because, well, we'll get into that later, right? Let's cover Men's North American Championship. Now obviously Ricky Sainz won it last week. I was a bit like, what the fuck? Ethan Page attacked him from behind. Now you'd be thinking Ethan Page and Sean Spears would be fighting it out for the chance to face North American champion Ricky Sainz next week, because Sean Spears just lost. He'd want the rematch and he'd want, you know, that makes sense. Whereas Ethan Page has been attacking Ricky Sainz because they're both former AEW stars making a name in NXT. Ethan Page did a great job, but then Ricky Sainz came along a bit better, so they've kind of got that feud going on. But Sean Spears was in a promo with the Culling where he was hyping them up, and he said, forget about that, I don't need that, I just used that to propel us into next level type shit. So basically that was that. So that's Sean Spears saying, I don't give a fuck, I just held my title for a couple of weeks, lost it, don't care about it, you know. Which is fair. Not everyone needs a rematch, you know. We don't always need to see someone beat a champion and the champion get a couple more rematches before the rivalry's over. It gets a bit boring at that point, right? So, obviously Ricky Sainz is out with the belt. We're expecting Ethan Page to come out, right? And then Lexus King comes out, the Heritage Cup champion. Doesn't come out with his Heritage Cup though. And he starts talking about yada yada yada. He wants a shot at it. And then Eddie Thorpe came out, obviously. He beat Trick Williams, and then he lost at the underground match, and you know, he's been building himself up quite well. And Eddie Thorpe came out on a wild one, said that is the championship of my people. Now obviously I'm not going to try and explain what his gimmick is, because I might get myself cancelled before I'm even a big enough YouTuber to be cancelled. But basically, it's a race thing for him. And then he said Lexus King was another white man trying to steal the title that just belonged to them. Basically, he said an outrageous statement, and everyone's been like, whoa. So everyone's invested now. Then Wesley came out with his buddies, and Wesley was like, I've held that belt, none of yous have, I made it great. Essentially, which is not true, because I'll tell you who made the North American Championship great: Ricochet, Keith Lee, Roderick Strong. Hello, but it's fine. And then eventually, Ethan Page came out saying, "Nah, it's for me. This is between me and Ricky Sainz. I want the shot." So, while Ricky Sainz was about to, obviously, well, no, Ethan Page didn't come out. Actually, I got that wrong. I don't know why I'm imagining that. Ricky Sainz was about to shut them all down and tell them to fight for it, and Ethan Page attacked him again, hit him with another twist of fate, or whatever they like to call it, but it's a glorified twist of fate. So we found out later on that night, that next week, just merely days before Stand Deliver, they'll be having a fatal 4-way match for a shot at the North American Championship, which seems pointless because we all know Ethan Page is winning that one. Because if Ethan Page doesn't face Ricky Sainz at Stand Deliver, then what the fuck was the point? You might as well have had Ricky Sainz, Sean Spears rematch, or had the Ricky Sainz, Sean Spears match at that point. So we all know it's going to be Ethan Page. We're not surprised by that. So essentially, Hank and Tank were trying to get another win, more advice this time. Except they're taking advice of everyone. Motor City Machine Guns, Pretty Deadly, the NXT Tag Team Champions themselves. They'd got no success. They had a second match against the Culling, a rematch that they'd had just 2-3 weeks ago. They lost again, unfortunately. And then they were backstage saying, God, what do I do? It doesn't seem like anything's working. What they're doing wrong. And then, essentially, guess who shows up? The WWE Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. And I thought they were heel. I thought they were heels, but they did a bit of a face run, and they were a bit of a face promo, and they were hyping them up, saying, just got to give it all, be yourself, don't stop being yourself, and give everything that you have. And then they used that moment to announce that NXT are going to have a tag team gauntlet, not with 6 teams, but with 5 teams, just like the main roster. They're going to have a gauntlet match between 5 tag teams on NXT. I believe the 5 tag teams were Hank and Tank, the Culling, Hank and Tank, the Culling, No Quarter Catch Crew were one of them. Who were the other ones? It's hard to figure out. This is the thing, their tag team division is very small. So, yeah. The Culling, No Quarter Catch Crew, Hank and Tank, Wesley's Friends, and then there was one more. Oh yes, it was Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. I remember Inamura's name now. Yoshiki Inamura. Not the family though. I feel like the family could have been a part of it. Maybe even Dark State, but it's fine. It's fine. So then, essentially, the winner of that's going to face Fraxium at Stand Deliver. None of them are worthy of taking the belts off Fraxium. We need a great team to take the belts off Fraxium. And I feel like they're building Hank and Tank as if they can be the next ones, but I don't think they are yet. We need another good tag team. Like, we need a culmination of, like, a Trick Williams and a Javon Evans. Like, we need that level of tag team to take the belts off Fraxium. Maybe even Dark State. I believe Dark State could probably do it. So, that was that. That's interesting. It's brought some hype to the tag team division. Because I think, while NXT has one of the best women's divisions in wrestling altogether, their tag team division is very, very bad, I'd say. I think the maximum got 8 tag teams. And that's tag team champions. That's the new, Dark State. One of them's Wesley's Friends, just like his buddies, his lackeys that are in the back, And then the rest of them are like tag teams, like the Culling or the Family. Like they've not got the strongest tag division, put it that way. So at least if we can get something maybe when we get some newcomers, or we'll put some single stars together, make a good tag team, because we need someone to challenge Faction. They've been champions way too long. I've not even been watching NXT that long. Obviously I watched it back in the day, but as of recent, since it became 2.0, I've not been watching NXT. And even I know Faction have been champions for the longest time. So but I don't blame them, because they're the best tag team. Like the way they move, how quick they are, ridiculous. But we need to go to that tag team in that tag division. So yeah. And when it comes to the NXT Women's Championship, obviously we're going to have Jordynne Grace versus Jada Parker, and then Stephanie Vaquer was going to decide who she was going to face at Stand Deliver. Now, Stephanie Vaquer was ringside for commentary. I was expecting Jordynne Grace to win. We're going to get the massive former TNA star, NXT star, Stephanie Vaquer, Jordynne Grace for the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver. I thought Jada Parker wasn't it yet, and it wasn't her time, and it made sense to put Jordynne Grace there. But during the match, Jada Parker just decided to swing at Stephanie Vaquer, and Stephanie Vaquer just started fighting the both of them. So then it was a DQ and whatever, and it was looking like, oh great, we're gonna get a triple threat. And then out of nowhere, Julia comes back and attacks Stephanie Vaquer. Julia's like, everyone's like, Julia, why would you do that? I thought you were friends. And she goes, I want a rematch. So when Ava went up to Stephanie Vaquer and she said, well, who do you want then? Because the match didn't have a winner, so who do you want? Stephanie Vaquer said, give me all of them. So to Stand and Deliver, we have a fatal four-way between Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Jordynne Grace and Jada Parker. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of this. I would have preferred Stephanie Vaquer, Jordynne Grace, or what I originally would have preferred is a title versus title with Stand and Deliver. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia. I think they did that too early for Vengeance Day, but I mean, I suppose it is what it is. Fatal four-way works, you know. You get all those matches added to one. I just don't think Jada Parker's ready yet. I think it's obvious that she's not going to win. I think it would be stupid to give the belt back to Julia. So it's between Jordynne Grace and Stephanie Vaquer. So you might as well have a one-on-one match. But it's fine. You know, it's fine. They've got multiple person matchups. I think the only one-on-one match they're going to have is going to be Ricky Sainz and whoever wins that fatal four-way, which we all know is going to be either Paige. But apart from that, we've got a 6-woman ladder match for NXT North American Championship. We'll get a 2-on-2 match for the tag belts. Then we're going to have a fatal four-way for the women's belt and a triple threat for the men's belt. So a lot of more matches. But then when you think about the main WrestleMania card, think of how many triple threats we've got. I mean, we've got a fatal four-way for the IC title. We've got a triple threat between Reigns, Punk and Rollins, and then we've got a triple threat for the World Heavyweight Championship for the women. So I suppose WWE are just in their multi-person bag, which is fine, because they are the more fun matches. And when you're on the big stages, the big massive matches like that seem to make more sense for a big stage, you know. Sometimes it's hard to judge whether a one-on-one match will sell out unless it's literally John Cena and The Rock. You know, sometimes it's hard. Some people might think Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, it's not that big. But a multi-person match, sometimes you can't deny how big it is. You know, you got multiple stars in one space. I just think Jada Parker sticks out like a sore thumb there, just like Izzy Dame does in the ladder match so far. But you know, it is what it is. I think she sticks out more than Izzy Dame does in the ladder match. But anyway, back to the NXT title division. Obviously, we know at Stand Deliver we're getting over Femi, Trick Williams and Javon Evans. But obviously, they've also had their problems with Darkseid, just like the D'Angelo family have. And they were forced, them three, to get along in a tag match against Darkseid. Now, obviously, you'd think two former NXT champions over Femi is an incredible athlete, and so is Trick Williams. Javon Evans is an incredible up-and-comer. You'd think these three in the ring together would destroy, you know, them. Like Javon Evans, incredible high flyer, over Femi, an incredible powerhouse. Trick Williams, the perfect man in the middle. Like, you didn't destroy Darkseid, and Darkseid really like dominated the match. Like, they were like, well, I wouldn't say dominate because they were always hitting moves. We didn't see enough of over Femi or Trick Williams in the match. I think Javon Evans got most of the action, and Javon hits hard. Like, I see why Javon is over, to be honest. Before this match, I wasn't understanding why Javon was really that over. Obviously, I got it with the Ethan Page match, but like this match, I was like, God, even in a normal match, he just hits hard. So yeah, fair. But Darkseid dominated, and then obviously over Femi and Trick Williams getting into a fight meant Javon Evans got teamed up on and pinned. It makes sense because Javon Evans is the weak link there. He's the one that hasn't been him yet. He's the one that hasn't been the NXT champion yet. Obviously, he was the one who was trying to play sort of peacekeeper, and he was trying to add his weight into the equation, trying to warn them about Darkseid. So he's the one that shouldn't be involved in that fight, and he's the one that should really be the one getting pinned. So it made a lot of sense, you know. The whole time it's kind of felt like it's between Obafemi and Trick Williams, and Javon Evans has just been trying to earn his shot, and he's felt a little disrespected by them, but they don't really care about him. So the storytelling makes perfect sense. Dark State won. It's good to make Dark State look powerful, because obviously they came and attacked everyone. If they came and got beat the fuck up, then what the fuck. And obviously I know a lot of them aren't original wrestlers. I mean, the main guy, like Saquon or whatever he's called, he looked very good. He was incredible in the ring. But then there was one called Cutler. Yeah, he weren't it. I don't know what he did. I don't even know if he hit any moves in the match, but he looked stiff. Put that way. I think a couple of them were NFL players before they were wrestlers, so it makes sense. But they looked alright in that match. I mean, the finish out was a bit rushed and a bit botched, but it's a good move if they can get it right. Unless that is how they intend on doing the move, and in that case, I'd say they need to be clean on that. But then after the match, the D'Angelo family over Stacks was on the screen, and he was essentially telling them, just watch out, you know, you don't mess with the D'Angelo family without consequences. We're coming for you. And obviously it's a 4-3, so we're just wondering what they've got in store. And then Stacks said, next week, NXT parking lot, we're going to have that. Oh my god, that's an amazing call. We're going to have that amazing brawl that we're waiting for in that NXT parking lot. Great, and I just, honestly, I can't wait. Stand deliver. Let's be honest, all these matches are fire. Whoever Ricky Saints faces, unless it's like Lexus King, it's going to be a banging match. A lot of matches are always great. Don't know how you could watch a lot of matches. Tag match might fall asleep, but it's Fraxium, so there you go. Fatal 4-way and triple threat for the main belts is unstoppable. So Stand Deliver's looking good, WrestleMania's looking good, everything's looking good. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.